You're live.
Hello, good morning, good evening to all you beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. We just want to welcome Lisa Allen this morning for taking the time and being here with us so she could share her spiritual journey with us and let us know the things that we could probably do to help ourselves on our spiritual journey. I'm Karen Pascal. I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. And today's such a beautiful day. And we are here again. And in the comments, just write, how was your week? How was your week with yourself? And what are some of the challenges that you're trying to overcome this past week that did not really work out the way you was expecting it to work out? You could write in the comments and you could ask us questions, and we are here to help you to answer the questions. I'll now hand you over to Ms. Joan Williams.
Hi, good morning to all of you. You all are special. Lisa, thank you for being here with us and hope you're doing great today too. We are all excited to wait to hear all the information you have to give to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to put this together for a little while.
Right.
So I was sharing this out to my page so that other people can watch. Hopefully you have it streaming publicly so that people can see it.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I was the one that made
awesome.
it there.
Yeah,
I'm sharing out now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we are. And so we're going to move right ahead and tell us who Lisa Allen is and what has brought her to this point.
Okay, well, hi everybody, I'm Lisa Allen and I'm an astrologer, I'm a tarot reader, and I'm a dowser, and I became known for doing timing, and so there's parts of my audience and my clientele that are changing more toward very psychic people who need help with getting like when things will happen for their visions and things like that. So that's something that I've been doing like more emphasis in my marketing and all of that type of thing. But my discovery of, I guess my spiritual path happened at I guess I had little clues in my life earlier, but my clue brick, okay, that came out of nowhere and knocked me sideways was during my first Saturn return in 1993. And I'm in my second Saturn return now. So I had an experience where I met a woman, she's still a friend of mine, and I had a malachite necklace on, and she held it for a little while and, kind of had her eyes rolling and all kinds of things. And I'm like, what's going on? And she said, this stone is going to give you everything that you ever needed, wanted, everything. Don't ever get rid of this stone. And she put it back on my chest after holding it only for a few minutes, and it burned me. I put aloe vera on my chest for 3 days. And I had to have her phone number. So once that happened, I learned that I had an attorney who used astrology to win his cases. And the only case that he didn't win was a case that he knew he wasn't going to win because of his own Saturn transit. And so that was kind of the beginning of my journey. I was a legal secretary at the time. I was a single mother. with no help from my ex. And it was very challenging doing all of this, you know, like having to learn how to traverse, you know, two worlds, right? Like, because that's what happens with us when we wake up. We're not only in the third dimension and the conscious world along with all the muggles, right? We are like on the magical planes, and we have to do it simultaneously. And so it's been, you know, obviously a lifelong journey, and lots of healing over the last 20 years, especially. I've just done layers and layers and layers and layers of healing past lives, you know, let's see, ancestor lines, you know, multiple like levels of my existence. I mean, just all kinds of things. And so that's kind of how I started. And then I picked up tarot pretty easily because astrology is much harder to study than the tarot. Okay. And all of these other things just started falling in place. And the thing that really, like, that I picked up really fast without even hardly trying is dowsing. Okay. And that is how I do my timing for people, like when they ask me for timing readings, is with this. Okay. Now, what's cool about this is that I know astrology, and so I can reverse engineer it if I need to. So I can go ahead into my daily planetary guide here and say, hey, you know, what's going on in 2 weeks or whatever the pendulum says, and I can have an astrological clue about what's going on, you know, in that person's energy, where a certain shift of a planet, like going into a sign or, you know, changing a phase of the moon or whatever it is, it'll reveal like, okay, the landscape, you know, the energetic landscape is different. And now you're going to have these results that you've been waiting for. And, you know, the stage is set for this. And I did want to tell people that timing can be flexible, and part of it is your own choices that you're making as you go. So some things you've already decided at a soul level, and then other things you are kind of making up your mind as you go. So, and then like if there's other people involved, you know, they have their own timing and their own thing that they're like navigating. So it's like fluid, and so there's like possibilities, there's percentages. It's kind of like predicting the weather. You know how like they say 50% chance of rain. Okay, so it's kind of like that with timing. I see it kind of like weather that way, where it can happen, but it can also change because of other elements changing. Other things that can happen, where I can sometimes change people's timing for things, only if they don't have like some other like soul agreement or some other thing that is happening in their energy wherein I don't want to affect the outcome of those things. And I can get permission for changing timing if none of those things change, but sometimes I can't change the timing for somebody. Like there's something that like they have to experience, they have to sign up for. And the last thing I want to do is inhibit their soul path, because it might only be that they only have one chance in this lifetime for something. I would not want that like responsibility. So definitely have, you know, some, you know, things that I can't do. Okay. Like I cannot change your soul contracts, you know, like for things that you've already agreed to before you came here. But we can maybe have some flexibility if everything works out, you know. So it's just one of those things. Also, I've noticed something, and I was telling Joan the other day that, oh, I'll tell you a Saturn return. Okay, I just saw that. What's a Saturn return? Saturn return is when Saturn comes back. It goes all the way around your birth chart and comes back to the place of where you were born. That happens at around 29 years old, and I'm in my second one right now, which I'm 58. Okay, so what the Saturn return is about is it's like the final exam for the last 30 years of your life. And We all know people in their first Saturn return that like partied during their 20s, and then they turn 29 and they're like, oh my God, I got to get myself together. I got to buy my house. I got to get my job. I got to get this. Okay, that's a Saturn return moment. Okay, so sorry, I did not identify what that was. Thank you, Jalen, for asking. So
that's a great question, Jalen.
Yeah. So anyway, the other things that we were going to talk about was, let's see, Joan asked about, okay, I mean, I have a flood of thoughts like right now happening, so maybe we can just get back to some of those. There's a way that you want to particularly go. I am fine with that.
I just want to touch back when you spoke about permission and change in time. It seems like in that space, you have to be so careful with the permission, change in the time, and understand that area clearly. So talk a little bit about just being careful in the time and changing for someone and having the
and actually, you know, because when I center myself and use the pendulum for permission or non-permission, it's not difficult for me to navigate in real time. But I mean, the reason for it can be pretty complicated, and the reason is not because of me. Most of the time, it's usually because of another soul contract. And now I remember what I was going to bring up. But another soul contract that person came in that they need to live out for whatever reason. They literally had an agreement to, like, let's say, meet up with another soul and then have an interaction with that soul and how it rolls. Okay, whatever happens with that. And sometimes we need those experiences in order to go on to the next thing that we're supposed to do. So a lot of people will ask me, you know, like, say, for instance, you know, my most common question is, when is my, and I'll just rephrase it for my clients and myself and even the people on YouTube, when is my well-matched partner coming in? Now, sometimes that could be life partner. Sometimes people might word it as soulmate. And then some people might word it as twin flame, and I will get to that, okay? Because I have unpopular opinions about that, okay? So I remember what I was going to talk about. So Joan had talked to me about, like, with timing, the clients that I'm getting now are waking up a lot more and more. We were talking about how COVID has had like a huge awakening on people, and they are like, you know, what am I doing? Like, and they're changing their whole life. They're changing their job. They're changing their home. They're changing their relationships. They're changing everything right now because they've literally just been distracted with their lives, and they had to, like, had a full stop in order to just, you know, like, reevaluate what they're doing. So because of the awakening, what it's doing is that there are more choice points for people. So when I was reading in the past, I would usually get one timing window and say, okay, you know, 3 weeks or whatever it would be, and that would be it. But nowadays, because we are like multi-dimensional beings, we have multiple choices, if you will. So sometimes what's coming through my pendulum is like there'll be three, like at that moment in time, there'll be like 3 choice points. Okay. So I will tell them, okay, there's one in, like, and I'll give an example. I'll just say, oh, there's one in 3 days time, and it's about, you know, like a 65% chance, okay, of something occurring at that time. There's another one in, you know, say 3 weeks, you know, and then this one is this percentage. And then there's another one in, example, 2 months, and it's this percentage, you know, and the highest percentage one is the one that, like, is probably going to happen, but you have choice. So it's fluid, right? So then sometimes people will go through these choice points. So let's say that they hit the first one, right? and they won't experience anything, and they'll come back and they'll say, I didn't have anything happen to me. Okay, well, what had probably happened is that they already changed their mind about something, because their soul is already starting to move away from certain choices that are not a match anymore. And it didn't even make the encounter, right? Like it was in the energy as far as an encounter that was possible at that point. But as soon as that person was like, no, I'm waking up, I'm learning my lessons, I don't have to repeat lessons, all of these things. So some of these lessons that were, negotiable, if you will, with your soul contract, kind of floated out before even the meeting point had happened. So what I'm trying to say is something did happen and you changed your mind, and that's why you're experiencing it this way. Okay. So then they have more openings. So, sometimes I'll re-pendulum and sometimes I'll get new results, because again, they're changing their mind. They're going through a lot of stuff. So this is very common for people these days. In the past, it would be like, I would say, you're going to do this, and then it would happen. Okay. Now I'm like, you could do this, and maybe some of these will happen. And, you might even get more choices later that I can't even get on my pendulum. You might even change your mind before you get to those places. So it's changing the nature of time, in a sense, with people waking up and realizing they have a lot more choices in their soul path. So just wanted to let you know.
So because of more choices and because of changing of mind, so it's how would you say, it's a little complex, is that it?
It can be, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm looking at, like even with the pendulum, like it'll spin or something and I'll be, okay, I didn't ask the right question. So sometimes I even have to wiggle room and navigate a question, like with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody has ever seen me live stream on YouTube and doing questions live from people, sometimes you'll see me doing it right there, and I'll be going, okay, I'm not getting the answer this way, so I'll reword the question, and then I'll start navigating the answers. And so thank you, Jaylyn, for the drop there. Thank you.
Can I break in here and give you another pump? I remember we did a show, and Kristen was on the show and asked you, that's one of her lovely ladies, when she was going to she applied for a different job. And you told her a certain time. Well, that time came and went, but what happened is they actually made the decision, but didn't inform her for 2 more weeks.
Wow.
Or something like that. So,
okay, so it was literally when she got contacted was when what came in on the pendulum. So they already knew they were going to hire her?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of like, it was one of these, she worked for a big corporation and she just loving her life. She's in a perfect job for her where she can take care of her kids as a single mother. And I was just talking to her.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. She's just loving it, man. So
that's amazing.
That's excellent.
And the thing is if you go to her page and look at Lisa's rates, I think you're going to be very surprised. I mean,
well, I have a special right now that's an introductory offer. I was trying to do like these in a monthly way, like for psychic client, like meaning professional psychics that would like be able to ask me questions. I have an unlimited question rate, like meaning when is this, or, like choice A, B, C, and then something else later, things like that. That is $77 a month for, just texting me, like whatever it is. And then I just send you the stuff. So it's very informational. It's just, the stuff, because, most psychics already know what's going to happen. They just need to know when. So, it makes it a valuable service, because then they can help their clients with timing and they become a more valuable psychic to their clients. Okay.
Beautiful.
So that's what I was going to do. But unfortunately, like, people still don't quite know what I'm doing. So I decided to give them like a Mrs. Fields kind of sampling, right? Where, you know, how about $22 for a question, and just Cash App or Venmo me, and I'll text you back, or Facebook Messenger, or, you know, whatever it is, where it's not where I'm talking on the phone with you. That is a consultation, and that's different. Okay. So if you need to talk to me, that is like $50 for 20 minutes is what it starts at. And I do a lot of astrology readings at $175 for 90 minutes. And I've been doing those for 20 years, 25 years now. So, but the new service is like just for timing. And I wanted to get the ball rolling so that people could like feel good about, you know, receiving that. And by the way, on shows like this, it's donation or, you know, what have you. I also do some free timing readings on my YouTube channel. I haven't lately because I've been moving around a lot. So I need to start that up again. So I'll be doing that, but just letting you guys know what is going on, and like how come it's kind of confusing for what's going on. It's really two different things. It's like I do astrology readings and I do healing, and I'm a Reiki master. I'm a master herbalist. That's what the MH means. So I do kind of a lot of things all at one time, but I found that I'm really good at timing, and I use the pendulum, and I do it really quickly because I can center, I can just flow into that timing space and like do it and then just tell you the info. And so I would like for people who are more psychic and they already know what's going to happen, or they already have a lot of people telling them the same thing over and over again, but they don't know when, please please contact me. My link tree has a place where you can contact me, and then it has the Venmo and or Cash App links for, you know, paying the $22, $11 for additional questions in the same session too. So
good. There you have it.
Yeah.
So you guys can contact Lisa for any questions, and she will help you to understand timing.
I see Jaylyn has a question that says, what information is provided in an astrology reading and why would one need it? So an astrology reading is a very deep dive into like everything that makes you tick at an energetic level, because it's reflected. Okay, so the planets, let me just make sure that people know this. The planets do not cause us to do things.
Absolutely.
However, there is I guess the universe's mechanics, okay, of being able to be a reflective mirror, and the astrology, if you will, is a mirror that helps us look at something from a different angle and see the energy of what is happening. Okay. And so there is this idea of fate versus free will. And I always say, well, in a way, they're the same thing. Fate is the decision of free will that you made before, and you're just waiting for the consequences. Okay. So I think fate and free will are the same thing. Okay. And so when something seems fated, it means that you decided that, but you decided it maybe before you were born. Okay. Maybe even, before other things happened. Okay. And, us and our stupid human tricks, okay, we tend to do things over and over again the same way unless it gets hard, unless we, have hard things happening. Astrology can help you at least understand that mechanic in you of how you do that particular thing. And also when you have stressful times, okay, like again, the weather, okay, so if your natal chart is your roadmap, okay, and you're traveling your roadmap, the transits and progressions and some of the other things are kind of like the astrological weather report that you're looking at. to see the energies of whether, now you cannot maybe make it not rain, but at least you can bring your galoshes and your umbrella with you so that you don't have as unpleasant of an experience as possible, right? If you know that changes are going to be coming over and over again, you'll be prepared for that. And it's much better to be prepared for changes. Now, the other thing that astrology does is it can give synastry, okay, meaning like planets of another person, so that you can see how you guys get along in a relationship. And then you can even do a chart of what I would call a relationship chart, which is your midpoints that are halfway, and that's called a composite chart. And you can even look at that for clues about how you can navigate a relationship. You can know ahead of time what kind of problems you'll have, okay? And if you have a plan, you can do relationships consciously rather than not consciously. So that is the reason I do astrology, and I love it, and it's amazing. And I actually had a client recently asking me if I will be teaching. I might consider that again. So there's a lot of good astrology teachers out there, but I do like teaching astrology. It's pretty awesome. So it'll be something that, you know, to just stay tuned, okay?
Wow,
Great. Thanks for your question. Karen, you got a question?
Yes. Can Lisa, can you explain what is twin flames?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I told you ahead of time, unpopular opinion. So just a disclaimer there. So when people ask me, you know, because one of my most common questions when I get for timing is, when is my, you know, and it's usually well-matched partner coming in. Could be well-matched life partner. But some people will ask for soulmate, okay? And we know that there's soulmates that are really easygoing, but we don't really grow spiritually from them. And we also have the karmic soulmates, and we have a lot of chemistry with them. It's hot and heavy sometimes, but then we have to learn the lesson, whatever that is sometimes, and then, you know, like see how that works, okay? So we also have this phenomenon of twin flames. So the way that I feel like that it's right is that, yes, there is, like, you carry an energy, like a flame, let's say it's in your heart chakra, right? And it's a particular vibration. There is like a particular vibration that is exact to you that exists in the energetic. In other words, it's your twin in the energetic realms. Now, when it comes to expressing that in the third dimension, for a long time, having that twin flame energy wasn't really happening in romantic relationships at all, because it's so loaded. We're supposed to be doing our work, okay, like separately, like, so, you know, twin flame one is over here, like in this relationship, doing this thing in this part of the world even, and the other person is in another part of they never see each other. They come back together after death or whatever it is. They did their work. They you know, figure out all of the union, integrate all of the things, okay? So twin flames as a romantic, you know, and or, you know, marriage partnership is pretty hard, because the job there is to do a lot of the work that you do on the fifth dimension, where you or above, okay, so like fifth or plus, okay, to reintegrate all of those pieces. You're doing that at the same time also in 3D, and because we are humans and we're not perfect, and this can be really, really hard to have a twin flame relationship in the third dimension, okay? It's very, very hard work. Not everybody is cut out for this, okay? And also, you have to make sure that the person that is holding your twin flame energy is also ready for that work the same way. And a lot of times what people figure out is that they're ready, but their twin isn't, or the person holding their twin isn't ready. And so then there's this running and, you know, all of these kinds of things that happen. And it's because it's really intense. Okay. And some people really shouldn't be in this kind of relationship, like that. It's painful. And there is also this idea that only one human can carry your twin flame vibration, and that's false too. That's false too. I feel that whatever, like, you know, like in my example, okay, I know that I had a twin flame relationship when my husband was on the planet, bless his heart. He left in 2012. But, you know, if I was under the belief that it's like, oh, wow, you know, my twin flame died, I'll never have a twin flame relationship again. I mean, really? You know, like, would spirit really do that to a person? Like, if they're doing twin flame, you know, kind of work in a relationship? No, I think that if you are doing twin flame kind of work in a relationship, that spirit will awaken another human that matches you, and ignite that twin flame, and then vibrate, and then eventually it'll vibrate together, and you'll find each other in whatever way that it is. Okay, that spirit allows that to happen. Okay, so that's what I think about twin flames.
Wonderfully explained. I totally agree.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh God, do I love it. I hear
oh, good. So maybe it's more popular than I thought.
Well, that's how I feel about it too.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at my friend Adam Hudson calls it spiritual fuckery. Man, I'd love to. I
know. Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it is the new age stuff that is kind of filtered through, and it's become doctrines and dogmas, and some people grab onto this and market it. And I see so many people chasing things instead of living.
I know. Yeah, well, and I think that the information that is being channeled in, it might not be all the way understood by the people who are channeling. I'm not like knocking it, but this is such a gnarly concept, if you will, that it's really hard to you know, like, communicate. So I think that I could see where people might get the message like a little bit wrong. You know what I mean? I could see where that could happen. So
I love you use the word gnarly.
Well, I'm a Cali girl, okay?
Yeah, so I love it. I love it.
And a lot of times too is that twin flames would come in, right? And when they come in, they made that agreement. You know what? We're gonna help so many other souls, and then we're gonna come back together. You know, they make that agreement and do that, and then they come back together eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, and usually that's in the other planes. It's usually not here in the third dimension, and so it just adds a whole other layer in the third dimension, because there's so much stuff here that is really difficult to already handle.
True.
Right.
You know, this plane, you know, if anybody hasn't noticed yet, it's not a picnic. You know,
absolutely.
It is not a picnic here. This is absolutely, we are in like spiritual marathon training, you know, at the end of a doctorate degree, like to get our doctorate degree. I'm serious.
Absolutely. And every day we go through different experiences. Every single day.
Yeah, of course.
It's just to help us to grow and evolve, you know? And a lot of times we get caught up in the loops that we don't understand exactly what's happening.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work in a twin flame relationship. I would say that, so, okay, I was just seeing, I don't remember who made the comment, but I saw a comment about that it's like an expression of the light of that person. And I agree with that entirely. Mm-hmm. But it's also very difficult to do your own processing at the same time as your partner is doing their processing, and then you guys are doing the processing together, and then you're doing the work of the planet collectively. Like, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So
a lot of work.
I believe that most people, okay, actually want a well-matched life partnership. That's what I think that they want. Now, if it does match you, that you are attracting a twin flame, you know, type of energy into your particular field, okay, that is also going to be covered in the well-matched life partnership, because it'll be well-matched to you. In other words, if the twin flame energy is a match for you, then it's already stated in the intention of well-matched to you. Same with soulmate. Okay, if you're looking for a soulmate, that will be matched on that level too. And I would definitely disclaimer it if you can and say not karmic, you know, like not a karmic soulmate, okay? Unless you've already made an agreement with spirit, you know, to meet that person so that you can learn something and then go on to your actual relationship, because you might need to learn something from the karmic soulmates before you actually have, you know, the really, you know, that really wonderful, loving, easy, you know, partnership that like many people are seeking. Okay.
True.
And by the way, we are getting to a place where I don't think that we have to struggle so much. Like, you know, I think that it's easier to, you know, like make an affirmation of a partnership that now, I mean, we have things that we do in life. Okay. So I don't mean easy, like the meaning that you can't grow, because that's stagnancy. That's not
True.
good.
Right.
I'm talking about, there's just basic stuff that it should just work in a relationship without having to be like a struggle all the time. And most people don't even know who they are, let alone how to be in a relationship. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, if you are doing your own work and you are, you know, ready for that, that's great. And then your twin also, like, or the soul, like they need to be doing the same work or at the same level as you. Like you cannot be doing this weird teacher student thing, you know, like that only works for teacher student, you know, or, you know, like an unequal relationship that probably will not be sustainable. Now, I guess that some people like that, maybe they want a relationship that isn't equal, like, you know, to either be taken care of or something like that. And that's okay too. You know, there's experience, you know, all of the experience is something that we learn from as a soul. So
it's really varied.
Yeah.
I love what you said about like those karmic relationships. You know, somebody might have come into your life just to help you learn a hard lesson. I was that guy for several women.
Oh, interesting.
Married.
So,
oh yeah, you know, and
so you had several karmic relationships, i.e., clue bricks for Tom.
Yeah, well, I think it was more for them than me sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
sure. Yeah.
Or like, I can't believe they had so much of a willing suspension of disbelief, you know. But,
right.
You know, do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
But you know, I was into substance abuse for many years. And that comes with the territory. Yeah, I've been married 4 times, and I've been with this one 20 years. And yeah, but I love how you say that, because so many people chase that rather than healing themselves and wonder why they keep drawing the same kind of guy like I used to be back into real life.
Oh, wow. That brings us to another topic.
Karmic loop. Can we do this, please? I worked so hard on the slideshow. Can we blow through this? Not only that, it covers some of the other stuff.
You actually did a great job on my slideshow. Thank you.
Well, not only that, you got all these beautiful pictures you had professionally taken.
Yes, Madison. Okay, I'm gonna give her a plug. Madison V Media. Okay, I will probably link it up later in the comments when people like look at the replay. She is fabulous. If you're in San Diego and you need a photographer, she's your person. Yeah, and she also does social media management wherever you are. So she's fantastic.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Aw, I'll tell her. I'll tell her.
Yes.
She has a really wonderful zodiac series of photography that she's doing. She started with Pisces, and it was magical. And she did Aries, and it was very Aries. She did Taurus. She's doing Gemini soon. So she's doing like monthly little photograph sessions. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can feel the interaction between the two of you just from the pictures. Because, oh my God, she sent me like 100 pictures. I'm like, well, see if there's anything you like. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? You know? And you know, there's a shopping cart where you could buy them, and I'm like, am I supposed
well,
to buy
it was only for you to see the pictures, because that
Yeah.
was a way for you to see everything, and then you could say this one, this one, this one, this one, and then I could send you the digital ones that I already had.
Yeah, well, yeah. What am I going to do? Say, I like number 43, you know,
or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them. God, they were beautiful. Let's go through this slideshow a little bit. Jalen's got a question out there, but we're going to hold on to that because I want to get through this. I put work into this, by God.
Okay.
I'll
rock
go
on.
read it.
Rock on, Tom.
Yeah, good job.
Timing Magic with Lisa, astrologer, author, herbalist, timing specialist, reverend, energy healer, tarot. And she does a lot more than that. I had a hard time putting this together because she does so much. And I want to make sure she talks about her herbal cure for birth control. I thought really
wow.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, that was my most popular blog post when I was blogging. It still like gets a lot of hits.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now that Roe versus Wade, you know, kind of went, you know, like on the state level, you know, and not on the federal level, there's a lot of people, I think, looking for natural, you know, means.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next slide is Lisa Allen, MH. That means she's a
master herbalist. Yeah, it's a diploma that came from the School of Natural Healing. That's their title, not mine. I usually say herbalist. Because it's a like never ending education to me. I
could tell that.
Yeah.
When I was reading through, I had a very hard time figuring what all to put in there. Because my God, it goes, you have literally put a ton of work. If you listen to how she talks with such authority on things, she has been working at this for over 30 years. This is not something that she just came about a couple of years ago and decided she was this and that. She has put a lot of work into this. So Lisa Allen, master.
I'm definitely the Saturnian Capricorn that you've been waiting for.
And timing magic. When will it happen? When you have confidence in your timing, navigating your life decisions becomes easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lisa Allen, I love that.
Yeah, and that is for people like when they are like, you know, I know I'm going to move. I know, you know, the spirit keeps saying I'm moving. You know, their readings, you know, from other people are like, or like people know them and then they go, oh, you're moving, you know, but then they're like, when am I moving? And it's very different to move like when it's, you know, right that month versus like 6 months down the road. You know, it's you plan everything differently. So that's why I want to do timing for people who are psychic that need timing. This is why I'm doing this. Because I want to help the world do timing. And I swear I wish I could teach it. So the thing is that if a person knows how to dowse pretty well, then I can maybe teach them how to do timing. With the pendulum anyway. But I find that it's really hard for people to dowse sometimes because it's a different talent. Okay, so like some people have clairvoyance, right? Like they can see everything. Some people have the hearing, they can hear everything. I happen to be a claircognizant dowser. That is what I do naturally. Like it literally just as soon as it happened, I picked it up and it just worked, right? Like astrology took me years and years and years and years of study. Herbalism still years of study, and I still study it, right? But dowsing and, you know, like it just comes right through. It comes right through. And the claircognizance also that comes right through. So that's why I thought about having services where people can just get the timing from me. And it took me a while to figure out how to do that. And eventually I will have people on either my Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, or I think I put Buy Me a Crystal.
Yeah, you did. I thought that was cute.
Because I am a British tea drinker right over here. This is PG Tips in here. It has organic cream and monk fruit and my collagen peptides that keeps me looking much younger than 58. So
Now you know her secret.
now you know my secret. Oh, and also to eliminate all grains, all legumes, and all sugars.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I've been doing that for 4 years. And it hasn't been easy, but it's much, much better than being in pain, because I mean, besides having inflammation weight of like 50 pounds after menopause,
oh my God.
And not to mention all the health problems, that was worse. Okay. Like the worst part was like, you know, the bladder issues that I had, my hair falling out. I couldn't even get up one time when I went to the grocery store and bent over to pick up something from the shelf, and I couldn't get up, and that scared me so much, right? Things like that happen, and like just within a month of doing the diet, I was starting to get better. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And it was all inflammation from being allergic to these foods. Or having reactions. Okay, whatever, but you know what I mean.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I was on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Tom. I have a question from Jalen Pellington. She's asking, can my future be changed? If everything is destined by God, designed by God, then how can astrology help me?
Keep in mind, Jalen, you are God. Okay, meaning that you make decisions. The thing is that you make decisions before you get here. So part of what I do as an astrologer is I can tell you what kind of decisions that you made before you got here from your astrology chart. And I can give you themes. So the thing is that there's gazillions of ways to live the themes out. Some of them have a higher expression and a higher vibration than others. If you are conscious of it, then you can choose a higher expression. If you are not conscious of it, you might choose a lower expression, right? Like not even knowing, okay? And then you think that there is like nothing else that could be done, or, you know, whatever it is, okay? So what I love astrology for is, like, if you will, a diagnosis, okay? So the cure can come from, you know, energy healing, flower essences, which I love. I love flower essences. Herbalism, if it's a physical matter or what have you. You know, I also love acupuncture. I love homeopathy. I love, you know, all kinds of, what do you call it? You know, alternative modalities, if you will. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because I find that they actually work better. And that's coming from a person with Neptune in my 6th house of health and illness. And always people were like, we don't know what's wrong with you. Have you guys ever heard that when you go to the doctor? Like you go, I have something wrong with me. I can't figure it out. And they're like, oh, your tests are fine. So you're probably just fine. And it's probably in your head. No, it's probably energetic. Okay. And it's probably something that Neptune, okay, because it hides things. So I have had a lifetime of like having things hidden from me. And I realized I need to see energy healing medicine people, you know, and learn my own techniques for my own stuff. And then like intermarry that with physical things, like, for instance, like learning about like that I cannot do grains and legumes and sugars. Okay. So, like all of this stuff was like very handy. I thought for like my whole life I was having hormonal issues, and here it is that I was really having gut lining issues and, you know, inflammation stuff. So.
Right. Great
Yeah.
explanation, Lisa. Very great.
So I hope that I answered that pretty well, about why somebody would want an astrology reading. It literally is about trying to find the highest expression for your chart, and also like why you came here. There's a lot of things about what you would come in to learn. Okay. And so say for instance, if you have the sun in your 5th house, you might come in to do a lot of creativity, because that's the house of creativity, and the sun lights up those areas. So you have a lot of creative energy. But then let's say that you have that squaring Saturn. So you had some overcoming of some stuff in your, like in order to do that art or create, or, and by the way, the 5th house is for children. So you may have wanted to come in and have a lot of children or something like that too. And maybe there was some things that you would have to overcome if that was square Saturn, okay, or something like that. There's also, you know, like other transits that, you know, can like fire that off too. So like at certain times in your life, you know, Saturn will come back to your sun, and then like, you know, you'll go through hardship again. So there's, and we live a lifetime of these things. Doing astrology doesn't solve all the problems, but it does help you have a toolkit so that you can approach it and have it be better than like just if you are not without, you know, if you don't have a toolkit. Let's just put it that way.
So true. That's a very good way how you put it there. That how astrology can help us. It's like a toolkit.
It is. It is.
On this journey that we're going. That is why you have astrology. You know, many people do not believe in astrology, but for me,
you don't have to. It works anyway. It's like, do you believe in you know, this telephone? It's a tool.
Exactly.
Okay.
It is.
That's, yeah. When people tell me they don't believe in astrology, I look at them and go, that's like saying that you don't believe in a hammer.
Absolutely.
Or you don't believe in electricity, because that's better because it's invisible, right?
Absolutely. So true.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love the way how you put it there. Yes.
I love the way you just, you know, so many people make everything so mystical, and I love how you're just matter of fact about it. I just love.
I am pretty matter of fact. I am like a very, very Saturnian Capricorn. And in fact, even when I woke up, I mean, part of my whole thing with learning astrology was poke a stick at it and see if it works, and see if it works, and see if it works. So I had to see it work so many times. But part of like what it is that you have to learn how astrology works and when to use it as a tool, because you know how like you could like get obsessed with a tool, and then you think that it's for everything, and you think that, you know, you're holding a hammer, everything's a nail. You can think that astrology will be like, oh, what should I have for breakfast this morning? You know, I think I'll look at the chart. Well, you don't have to do that. Like you can totally like just tune into your gut or whatever, and you know, choose your food. Okay, so like, you know, there's things that astrology is good for, and things that astrology is maybe, you know, overkill. Okay. So, you know, I guess that if somebody wants to do a chart every morning before they eat breakfast, and if it helps them, I mean, okay, you know, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You know,
love that.
I mean, you know, I don't want to live, because one of the things about astrology is that it's very mental. Okay. It's like, unlike psychic ability, all of those things flowing through, astrology is very, very mental. Okay. So one of the things I don't want to do is get trapped in my head, because that can do that with astrology. Like if you are not living your life and just organically living your life, and you're living inside of a chart, and you know, and you just never get it out of your head, then you're not living your life. It's like you're kind of like just, you know, I don't know if it's like spiritual bypass, like I don't know what it is, but I mean, I've seen people like, you know, also, and here's another thing that happens with some people that when they're doing astrology, oh, that person has a sun in blank, blank sign, I can't be friends with them, right? stuff like that. Like they'll just discount and it's like, wow, you might have a lesson to learn with that, right? So, and by the way, I think that there are excellent and not so excellent expressions of all the signs, okay? And we are a mixture of all of those things. So, you know, there is no sign that is like, oh, it's all good, you know, like, and then this sign is all bad. No, that is not how that works, okay? When you have a sign that you are not integrating, there's something in you that you need to learn from that particular thing. And maybe it's learning the opposite expression of that particular energy, or like owning your own power in it. So like, let's say that, you know, a person is like, you know, that they're, you know, like that they're selfish, or they're like whatever it is. And then you're like, I don't like that person because they're selfish and I'm so giving. Well, maybe actually you need to be a little bit more selfish so that you're more balanced. Okay. So that person who's selfish, who by the way, could probably use some balance, but that's up to them, right? Let them find their balance. You find your balance, and then suddenly those people are not bothering you anymore because you are balancing yourself. And that is the goal.
True. I just love the way how you put it. I just love the way
I just absolutely love
just love it.
how you
Love
cut
it.
through all of the
Well,
I
I try to cut through the BS.
Yeah,
because there's so much BS out there.
I have to use. I've never heard it described any better than Adam Hudson as spiritual fuckery. You know,
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know.
I can take you to the great
Yes.
beyond. I will
Yeah.
connect you to the mothership orbiting Venus right now to take you directly to the 5D. Just send me $1,500 a month.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's so many people, and the money is like, we were talking about that with Joan the other day. The money seems to be the actual reason that people are doing this, and it should be the opposite. It should be that you do the spiritual work. The money is a great idea because then you can like live and do your spiritual work. But when people are like, you know, oh, my priority is I'm going to make 6 figures this year. God, I mean, like ad nauseum. Okay. Like I am so tired of I'm a 6-figure coach. You know?
Yes.
I'm over it, you guys. And you know, like stop spamming me or whatever. Right?
Oh, you're gonna go on a lot of shit lists.
I
know.
have a question for you now. I have a question.
I'm a little bit rebellious like that. I have Venus and Saturn in Aquarius. Go ahead.
I have one for you now. Help us to understand what is the difference between 3D and 5D.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. So I think that the easiest way to measure that is to monitor one's emotions. If you monitor your emotions and you are experiencing love and joy, that is what to me 5D is. Meaning you are like vibrating in the 5D, even if you're a 3D body, you are vibrating in the 5D dimension when you are in an uplifted vibration of joy and happiness and love. And if anybody wants to know more about that, they can look up Love or Above. It's Christy Sheldon, I think, or something like that. She created this cycle where you can measure like numerically. And I've actually used that with my Dowsing pendulum and found like, you know, some expressions of like energy, like where is so-and-so's energy? Oh, they're in pride. Oh, okay. You know, and so anything that is kind of lower than that loving vibration, you know, would be kind of more in the 3 and sometimes 4D. So 4D would be the parts that we can't see, but they still vibrate in those like lower planes. So like the ghost realms and the, you know, some of those things are not like, you know, there's people that talk about, you know, like, you know, oh, it's so safe to go out into your spiritual and everything. Not necessarily, because there's a lot of stuff on the 4th dimensional plane that is very unhealthy. Okay. So the fifth dimension is like where the love and like the fear is gone. Okay, there's no fear. It's like no anger. There's no pride. There's no, and it, like it's above that. Okay, and the way to navigate that is to elevate our emotional place in a place of joy, and it's very hard to do when we have a world that has so many distractions that want to get to your fear. They want to get you to evoke emotion, to fight, to, you know, do all of these things. And really, the battle is with ourselves. Really, the battle is with us. Okay, do we want to be in struggle, or do we want to be in a place of joy and upliftment? And that is a choice. It's a choice. And so, and I'm not saying that I do it perfectly. I don't. Like, I definitely get pulled out of my energy, and like, you know, I mean, a lot of people, like collectively, the shootings and the, you know, some of the things that are happening on the planet, and these are terrible things. Okay. But we cannot attach to these things, because once we do, okay, as awake individuals, okay, so let the people that are not awake, the muggles, okay, let them do the fighting, let them, because that's what they're contracted for. If you are contracted for light, okay, holding light on this planet, you can go empathize and you can do this, but then you've got to remove yourself from that. So integrate, like have empathy, have compassion, okay, but then remove yourself from that and elevate back to joy, because our job here is to shine the light of joy and let that be available for everybody. If we get tied up in these emotions that are in the third dimension lower, okay, we then become, we do not bring extra light that way. We don't bring the 5D down to 3D anymore. We are in 3D at that moment.
Wow. Beautifully said, Lisa.
Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you. So many people are selling how they're going to connect people. And again, I'm going to.
No, they do it themselves. Flower essences. Okay, this is why I love flower essences, because they go right to the core of the emotions that you can get tricked into because of miseducation. Okay, I love them for that. Okay, so like lately, because I'm in Saturn transition, I'm all over the place. I just let go of my place. So I'm using walnut as a transition so that I can do what I need to do without people having an expectation of my old self. I can let that fall away. Okay, but other people might need things for anger management, Holly. Okay. Other people might need things for, like confidence, or, or like over caring for other people, but not themselves, like there's lots of different ways. And so if you can help change your emotions through, whether it's flower essences, whether it's meditation, whether it's like whatever it is, then I say do it. And that is the way to 5D. To me, it's joy. That's what's going on. And if you have, psychic abilities that are open and all of those things, taking care of that and taking care of your energetic body, making sure you're grounded, making sure that your aura is clean and your chakras are working and all of the stuff, that is what's going to get you to the 5D place. And then you operate in 5D and 3D simultaneously in a body.
Yes, and yes, and yes. I love this. We exist in all. Yeah, I'm drinking tea myself. We exist. We coexist in all these dimensions, each of us.
Yes.
And like they're going to take you somewhere that you already.
Yeah.
We're in.
It's like, no, you're already there, but you're choosing to vibrate here. It's a choice. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is a choice. And
the
beauty is that we have that free will.
Exactly. And a lot of people in their soul contracts have signed up for the 3D experience.
Exactly.
Yes. And it's okay. It's okay. Let them do the 3D stuff. Okay. Like the fighting and the, all of those things, right? Let them do all of that. Our job is to bring joy and hold the joy vibration. And the more of us that can hold joy and then do all of that, it radiates outward in the world. And all we need is a small amount of people to do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Totally agree with you. Because
yes.
what is happening now, what I've noticed happening now is that a lot of people is getting caught up. A lot of people are getting caught up with this ego, and it's driving people crazy. We now, the awakened ones, do not need to get caught up in this whole thing.
That is right.
Because remember, we are carrying love, we are carrying the light, we are carrying the compassion, and we do not need to get caught up in these things.
I agree. And so I clipped the cord on, I'm sure that a lot of people, they may not understand, but part of our self-care as light worker types, okay, is cutting the cords on a lot of things.
Absolutely.
I have to cut the cords on a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
it's just how it is. And it does not mean that we are not compassionate. It just means that we have to keep our energy in integrity and in that joy vibration.
Absolutely.
We have to, because there is so much distraction right now.
Exactly. And I was telling somebody on to the other day, that my purpose here, I am here to help humanity. I am not here to get myself involved in rubbish. I would call it rubbish.
Rubbish.
I call it rubbish.
Yeah.
I am not here for that. And I am not going to allow myself to be pulled down by lower energies. I refuse that. I totally refuse that. I want to stay in the light. I want to stay with compassion. I want to stay with love for everybody. Once you come to me, I will give you the love and the compassion, and I'll take you in with my arms. I am not going to involve myself with rubbish. I don't have the time for that.
And actually getting involved with rubbish would actually lower your vibration and therefore make you not even be able to do your job.
Absolutely.
That's as close as I've ever seen Karen to being pissed
rubbish.
Totally and I've been on here a lot. I don't like when she gets that look. It caught me a lot. It caught me a lot of floggings in past lives with her.
Oh my gosh.
But let me get through the slideshow so I can quit popping up and leave you alone, and then I'll quit pestering you.
Okay.
But
I love this picture of you, and I don't know.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful what they did here? And that must be. Where is that?
So these photos were still taken by Madison V Media, but my logo and these banners were graphically done by Steph Zahalka of Jungle Branding Company. And I've been friends with her for about 2 decades, and she lives in Australia now. And she is like the perfect person for like doing all of my branding. And she did my logo and like some other stuff. She's amazing.
Karen, you might talk to her. But anyway, I bet you Lisa can connect you. Yeah. What I was I put up there, divine timing consultant and astro herbalist.
Yeah, because I still have that domain name. I did not want to give that up because I had, littered the internet with that domain years ago before I started emphasizing my timing. But I found that a lot of people are becoming astrologers and herbalists. And I'm so happy about that. Like back when 10 years ago, that was like a rare thing. You were either an astrologer or you were an herbalist. And now there's a lot of people combining the disciplines together. And I'm so happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that we've had several people on this show that combine multiple modalities like you do. You know what I mean?
It's so easy to pick up. It's so easy to do that. You could just pick up everything and, I'm a Reiki master. I've done chakra clearings and energy healings and, now I'm an herbalist and now I can, Yeah,
You
it's
put years into this.
remarkable. Yes,
I tracked
many years.
I tracked through your stuff. I was trolling around in your stuff. You've been doing this for a long time,
Yeah.
and I love that. And for me, it's like everything that I've been learning. It's like you just go down like point by point by point, where my belief system is now. And I'm like, holy shit, where's she been? This and I love this picture of you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes,
Hey there.
beautiful.
Know what is going to happen, but not when. That is where I come in.
That's where I come in.
Lisa Allen and Timing Magic, and we've got all of her I've got some of her contacts pinned in the comments down there.
Yeah, and you can go to my link tree. It's linktr.ee/timing magic. You'll get all my links there, all of them.
It's actually pinned in the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
The link tree. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We've been around for a minute.
Old souls here. Thank you.
Yeah. This is one of the first lives. Karen hasn't given me any public blogging, so I'm really grateful. Yeah. We've been around for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Ancient
we've been
Egypt.
around the block.
That's funny.
Well, a few of our little group have been around quite a few years. Karen calls this a gathering of souls.
It is a gathering of the collectives. It is a
collective
gathering of
souls
the
that have
collectives.
been around that are ready to do what we're doing now. And
Yeah.
I said to Tom, and I always tell people one thing. We are on a bus, we are on a journey. There are many people who is gonna hop on and they will hop off, and it's okay when they hop off. It's okay. You will wish them well and let them go. It's quite okay. You send them with love and compassion when they decide to hop off. It's fine. Go ahead, Tom.
And yeah, she told me in January of 21 that I was bringing her out to the world. I'm like, huh? I'm a guy out there from Indiana, old, retired, and I am not technical. You wouldn't believe what I would. That's why I'm whining about this little slideshow. I put so much time in because I'm lame and old. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa Allen, skill sets. Well, I did one for them for Mother's Day, and then they think it's supposed to be a thing. Astrology, tarot, but I think it happens. The
tarot.
Tarot. I call it.
I got my deck right here.
Yeah,
one of my decks. This is one of my decks, and it's out of print now. But this is called the Wizard's deck.
Oh wow! Yeah,
I like it. I still like it, and I won it. I won it from Llewellyn years ago, and then I fell in love with it. So I continue to use it all the time.
Llewellyn published one of the books that
Llewellyn is who publishes a lot of my articles that I had from 2007 till 2018. I was doing articles for their annuals.
Check out Llewellyn, the publishers. One of the books that were
my friend Raven Digitalis has an Empath's Oracle. You guys have to check that out. It's gorgeous. Empath's Oracle. Check it out.
I'm writing it down.
Empath's Oracle. It just came out. I'm waiting for my copy any day in the mail now. Okay, like any day.
Could you so excited. Post that link? Can you post that link in Sharing the Light, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I would love. And when you go live or when you do something, you're welcome to go ahead and promote yourself there. And that's the reason it's there. That's the reason it was created.
I know. I just haven't done any live streams lately because
we'll change.
But I'm trying to change that.
I've got you some connections. There's one or two people that popped in here today. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. So I'd like to introduce you to some people. Maybe Anthony and Mary of Positive Pineapple. Do you see how they resonate, Karen?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
Yes. Thank you, Erica, too.
Yeah, Jennifer's also a native Californian, I believe. But
awesome.
But anyway, Erica. Love to have you. You're so cool. I hate covering you up Let me get through this
No,
thing.
that's all right.
Dowsing in my flagship. Okay. We call it carrot here where I come from. But, dowsing in my flagship ability. Timing magic. I love that. Reiki, I guess.
Reiki.
Yeah, I'm a Midwest guy with a hillbilly daddy, man. I pronounce shit.
Okay, so you say it however you want then.
I'm going to say it however I can, you know. Herbs and or flower essences. One of the problems is when I kept trying to fix it and I finally gave up, and what took me so long is when you put it on the screen, it compans PowerPoint. So nothing comes out right, as you're going to see in a minute.
It's okay.
Explain rich lore, study of letters.
Okay, so actually I need to dig out my materials because I put it aside with moving and doing all the things. But what it is that is a study of letters. So there are several systems out there about studying the sound along with the shapes of the letters, yes, and the vibration and the numerical value. Okay, and how it all flows together. And so, yeah, like for instance, the L is a 3 vibration, but it's also L, and it has a lot to do with love and like, yeah, opening with love. Okay, so my name starts with an L. In other words, it's like it starts with loving vibration. And our first names are our mental expression. Our middle names are our emotional expression. And our last names are our physical expression. And each letter has a vibration and a tone. And then when it flows together, like you see how these energies flow together. Okay. Now, interestingly, when I got married and my last name changed to Allen, the lady that was teaching me this system, and I need to reconnect with her again. I've lost some contact and, doing some stuff, and it's fine. But she asked me if I was having problems with my ankles. And I said, I am, and actually at the time I was. And I said, how do you know that? And she says, well, because your last name ending with an N, it has to do with, because of all the energy that was building up in your name, okay, A with action, okay, love, right? And then E was the inquiry. And then the N was the remove obstacles. So she said that all of that energy could get hooked up into there, and there could be stagnancy about removing obstacles and all of that energy. And so she says it could get stuck at your ankles because, like, it goes A, L, L, E, and, like, in other words, it'll still go through your physical body from the head to the toe. Mm-hmm. So that since that's at the end, it was at the bottom. So that's how she figured that out. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. It is interesting. It is.
So I want to learn it. I'm learning it. So that's one of the things I'm learning.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
Could you pull a card? Could you pull a card for everybody who's here today?
Sure, absolutely.
Before we leave.
Yeah, I mean, I have my tarot deck here. That's the only deck I have here right now. I have all my other ones are packed away and they're in my car. But this one fell out of the deck. Oh. Okay. Not sure if you guys can see this.
Tom, could you bring it up closer for us? Wow.
Okay, this is the Strength card, and you'll see the dragon in the background. And, sometimes this card is portrayed with a lion and the woman putting her hand in his mouth, okay, showing strength. Okay, so this card, it's a Leo, like it has the Leo symbol up here, okay, and in the lemniscate, the cosmic lemniscate. So this card has a lot to do with power, but not power outside of you. This is power within you, okay? So this is about maintaining strength inside of you. And, going forward, and this card, I also think that there is a lot of, like, because of the female energy, there's a lot of female like sexuality power in this card. So I don't know who that resonates with, but I think for most of us, it's about being strong right now while these times are happening, and just stay strong. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And I think that is so appropriate at this time for each one of us, you know. We know we need to go within for that power. We need to go within for that strength. That is what we need to do at this point in time, you know. We tend to look on the outside for the strength. We tend to look on the outside for the power, but we need to go within. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
We need to go within ourselves to find that strength and to find that power, so we can really uplift ourselves and live our purpose, live our true essential self. That is what we need to do.
Absolutely. You know? I agree.
Lisa, you're an amazing soul.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys are so great.
You know, and you came back here with quite a wisdom and knowledge that you could help each one of us, you know, to go through this timeline, you know, and it helped us that we could understand astrology, and how we could incorporate it in our daily life of living.
Yes.
You know, and with the astrology also, it helps us to understand ourselves deeper, on a very deeper level.
It does. I mean, I've been studying astrology for 30 years now, and I still find more things in my chart, more layers of meaning every time. I mean, astrology is something that is so deep you'll never get bored. You will find something always, you know, like it's just remarkably deep. It's amazing. So
it's amazing.
I know we were going to talk about my spiritual path a little bit, but we don't. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to just tell people that it's based on the elven viewpoint of Tolkien's Middle-earth stories called the Legendarium, and if it interests you, it's elvenspirituality.com. And we also are a nonprofit now. After, let's see, it's not quite 20 years. We're between 15 and 20 years old now, but we just became a nonprofit in 2020.
Great. Good job.
I remember reading that book and really connecting with that. I love that. And
and I love if you're talking about the Silmarillion, the Ainu Lindale and Valaquenta, that's when it happened to me too. So, and so Dave and I were co-founders of this particular path, and you know, there's been a lot of coming and going, you know, people like kind of trying it on, maybe it's not for them, whatever. We don't care. We've just been, you know, steadfast throughout. So thank you everybody. Erica, let's see, Missy,
Caroline,
not sure who else. Caroline.
Caroline
has a question.
Yeah, Caroline. That's somebody. I think we actually had you live with Caroline, and we may do it again if you'd like. What does a C represent for Caroline?
Compassion, I would say.
Okay, so the C has a lot to do with clarity. And so people who have the C in their first name, they start their energy mentally, right, with clarity. And like, you know, just so my daughter's name is Christiana, so that's so I had to study the letter C with that. I haven't memorized all of them. Sorry guys, I would have to go find my books, and I think that they're in my storage unit in San Diego right now.
Why don't you link that? I'm sorry, link that non-for-profit, because somebody.
Okay, I'll see if I can type it in the comments.
You can do it on Facebook.
I can do it on the Facebook group, I think.
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's see if I can do that here. Okay.
Yeah, Caroline always wants things divined and things to be. I was laughing about that when I heard it, Caroline, because I'm like, yep, that be our Caroline.
Okay, I'm typing it in.
Let me see.
I'm
It'll pop
hoping
up.
it pops in. So I typed it on Facebook so that you could see my face. I'm sorry?
You have it. It's up.
Okay, excellent. Because it'll show up like I'm actually about. So the Facebook person that asked, how do I learn about the letters? I only know one person right now that has access to this, and I'm having trouble getting a hold of her right now. Now, there are other systems of letters and numbers and vibrational and numerology and other things. And by the way, I've studied a little bit of numerology also. I like it, but the numerology that is in this system is slightly different, okay? Just like how Chinese numerology is slightly different than Western numerology. And there's different systems of numerology and all of those types of things. So this particular one is a channeled one, and it's called Rich Lore, and it's not online. I looked all over the place. The people that have this, like, they learned it like in the late 80s, like by correspondence mail. And so it's something that I'm like looking at refreshing one of these days when I can find them, and then like also be united with my materials too.
What is the K for? The K in my name.
I don't remember K, but it has something to do with, because the vibration of it is a 2. I remember that because of the, and I believe that it's like it's an easy energy, like something that is just it's ease or something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
Here's another elven spirit here, Chandra Wattlesworth.
Man, hi, Chandra.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to like talk about the elven path if you're a Tolkien person.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lisa, for
Oh, sure. Oh my gosh, it's been really fun. And now it's like, wow, it's almost 8 o'clock. I'm gonna eat breakfast.
Let me get through this, by golly. But training, certifications, and organizations. Isn't that a great picture? Master course through the School of, my God, I hate the green. That's what I saw, of natural healing.
School of Natural Healing. It's in Utah. It's the oldest herb school in the country that is still in existence.
And surprisingly enough, that LDS Church of Latter-day Saints that I looked at many years ago, they're actually very much into natural healing. And
I know, it's a Mormon school. I mean, of all the dang places for me to learn, I would have done my herbal training being so pagan. I would have done my herbal training with Matthew Wood if I, didn't like have a different way. But I got a scholarship, and I did some other things. So yeah, I ended up getting it, and it was fine for what it was. I got my MH, and I learned a lot, and I continue to learn though. And I really like Matthew Wood's approach to things, and Sage Apopum. Sage Apopum is awesome.
Yeah, level 1. I had to look this up. NCGR, level 1 NCGR, National Council for Geocosmic Research Incorporated.
Yep, I'm a level 1.
I had to look that up and figure out what the hell it was. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Usui.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Reiki Master.
Yeah, and I started Reiki back in 2000 when hardly anybody knew about it, and then I became a master like many years later. But I have an interesting story about when I first got initiated. So I used to crochet hats for a living, and actually, funny enough, I just had circle back to me one of my old hat customers from 2 decades ago.
Oh, wow.
And wants me to make hats for him because he like never found anything that he liked. So what happened is like a lot of my people would go to like the hippie shows, like in, the Grateful Dead kind of crowd. And they would go to the shows, they put their head, their dreads in a hat and like just, go on the road for days or whatever. Right. So sometimes they would lose their hats. And when I made their hats for them, somehow their hats came back to them.
Wow.
So yeah, and they were telling me that, and I'm like, wow, I wonder like what that's about. And the only thing I could think of is that the Reiki like that I did like when I made that person's hat, it was so imprinted that it just came back to them. It's the only thing I could think of.
Yes.
Wow. You're also an ordained ULC reverend through the official Universal Light Church.
Universal Life Church. Yeah.
Life Church, yeah.
Yeah, ULC Reverend. And some of the states that is not valid, but it's valid in California. So
I believe Teresa Crabtree is as well. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to hook you two up. I bet you. Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Member of the San Francisco Astrology Society.
And San Diego,
I mean.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
Well, what happened is that was white when I made it, but when it comes up here, it changed it to green. It pissed me off because it's underlined. Never mind.
I know.
I was ranting and raving, fighting it at 12 o'clock at night. Anyway, longtime member of the San Diego NCGR chapter. That's the same one above the National Council Geo. And you also founding president.
And I founded at the time, because it's no longer in existence because all the astrologers moved away, including myself. But when I was living in Montana, I managed to find a few astrologers that wanted to start a chapter. So I ended up being a president of that, which I didn't ask for being a president, but like they thought, well, you're the one that found us. So, we'll have you be the president. And I learned a lot about being a president of a national organization at that point. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
But if you look, she's had so many, I didn't know what to do with all of it because she's been in so many different positions for so many different organizations. So she's been kind of in the ground floor from all of this for, like she says, 30 years.
Yeah, I've been studying since 1993 and then professional since 2000. So and you go through a lot of things when that happens.
I had to say something that I wanted to bring in. Core values and philosophy. I gathered this from your stuff in there. I'm probably stepping over the line. Lisa is I just cut and pasted here. Core values and philosophy. Lisa's a level 1 in CGR, a Usui Reiki master, and believes that teaching, healing, and creating our lives, and I think she's demonstrated that today, rather than rote fortune telling, is the goal of her consultations. In 2007, Lisa became an ordained ULC reverend through the official Universal Life Church and expanded her skills, becoming a master herbalist through the School of Natural Healing. Lisa then began creating flower essences in her yard, which she talked about, and the woods nearby to custom blend healing signatures along with appropriate herbs for her clients. So Lisa's practice collects a blend of psychic, spiritual, physical, and astrological modalities to serve her clients, along with multiple pathways of learning and plus healing.
I think you did a good job of summarizing that.
Yeah, I spent a long time trying to figure that out because you had so much stuff, man. It made me crazy. And this is just some of the links that are pinned. I just love that picture.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And
yeah, I like Presidio Park. It had the perfect vibe for the day. And I didn't realize that my color palette of all my branding would actually happen from that photo shoot. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm very thankful for Madison, and I'm thankful for Stephanie for helping my brand all come together, like have a cohesive look,
Wow.
But
Thank
please,
you so much.
please, sharing the light, please go ahead and put some of your stuff down there. Feel free whenever you like. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm looking at all the comments. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for anyone watching the replay. And check out my special if you need some timing. $22. You can't beat that. It won't stay. I'll tell you.
Yes.
That's
It
what I
won't
was
stay.
trying to say. You need to get in there and take advantage of that.
Introductory rate.
Yes. She's a very
Thank
busy
you guys
lady.
so much.
Thank
And to all the
you.
viewers out there, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today to
Yeah.
make it a success. Lisa, thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Joan, for if you're in the
Yes.
background. Thank you
Yeah.
again, Tom.
Joan is
It's
working.
been wonderful.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
thank
Thank
all
you.
of you.
Yeah, thank you all for joining today. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you. And
We'll
have a
have to-
wonderful weekend.
We'll have
Have
to have
a
you
wonderful
back
weekend.
Yeah.
one way or another. If not their show, we'll have to have you back because you
Yes.
just got
Yeah,
too
we
much
will have her
stuff.
back. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I have way too many stories for you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some real doozies.
I bet. We
Thank
better
you.
get out of here. Are we done?
Thank you.
Yeah.
She always folds her hand, goes into prayer position to tell me to end
Yes.
this thing. So we're done. Thank you
We're
all. I
done.
love you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.